Charlie Munger, Timeless Investing Wisdom. A journey through the mind of Berkshire Hathaway's vice chairman. Charlie Munger is often introduced as Warren Buffett's right-hand man, but that description undersells him. He is not merely Buffett's partner, he is the architect behind much of Berkshire Hathaway's long-term thinking. While Buffett plays the role of the friendly public face, Munger is the razor-sharp strategist, the moral compass, and the relentless truth-teller. Born in 1924 and shaped by the hardships of the Great Depression, Munger learned early that frugality and resilience were not just virtues, but survival skills. His upbringing gave him a deep understanding of risk, opportunity, and the discipline needed to build wealth over a lifetime. He often says, "It's not supposed to be easy. Anyone who finds it easy is stupid." For Munger, investing is not about chasing trends or finding some secret shortcut. His approach is rooted in what he calls mental models, frameworks of thinking borrowed from multiple disciplines: mathematics, psychology, engineering, economics, history, and even biology. In his own words, "To the man with only a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. If you only know one way to look at the world, you will misinterpret opportunities and fall into predictable traps." Munger's solution is to build a broad, cross-disciplinary base of knowledge so that each decision can be analyzed from multiple perspectives. This mental toolbox allows him to avoid costly mistakes and recognize great opportunities before others see them. For investors, his advice is simple but profound. Learn broadly, not narrowly. Think in probabilities, not certainties. Recognize and guard against psychological biases like greed, fear, and overconfidence. Munger's investment philosophy rests on a foundation of patience and discipline. He believes the real money is not made in the buying or selling, but in the waiting. The big money is not in the buying or selling, but in the waiting. In a world where many investors frantically trade in and out of positions, Munger often sits on cash for years, waiting for the perfect opportunity. When it arrives, he acts decisively. But until then, he is content to do nothing. This was the case with Berkshire Hathaway's investment in Coca-Cola in the late 1980s. It wasn't a complicated trade or a risky bet. It was the purchase of a dominant company with a beloved product, bought at a fair price. Decades later, that investment remains one of Berkshire's crown jewels. The lesson is clear. Buy great businesses, not just cheap ones. Hold them for the long term. Let compounding work its magic. Munger is also famous for thinking in reverse. Instead of only asking, "What will make me successful?" he asks, "What will cause me to fail?" He calls this inversion. In his words, "All I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there." By focusing on avoiding mistakes, he sidesteps the traps that ruin many investors: excessive debt, overpaying for assets, and making emotional decisions during times of market stress. Munger knows that avoiding stupidity is often more important than seeking brilliance. But Munger's wisdom is not just about investing, it's about life. He believes wealth should be built honestly, enjoyed modestly, and used wisely. He champions integrity, lifelong learning, and surrounding yourself with people who have high ethical standards. He advises young people to work constantly on improving yourself. Associate only with people you admire. Start saving and investing early. Be patient. Real success takes decades. Say no often to bad investments, to toxic people, and to distractions. Over nearly a century of life, Munger has seen markets rise and fall, economies boom and collapse, and countless investors come and go. His perspective is grounded in realism but fueled by optimism. He sees life as a series of opportunities, but insists that only a few truly matter. "You don't have to swing at every pitch," he says. "Just wait for the perfect one, and when it comes, swing hard." For all his success, Munger remains humble and focused on the basics. He often says that most of his wealth came not from brilliance, but from consistently avoiding big mistakes, buying great businesses, and holding them for a very long time. It's a lesson that sounds simple, but almost nobody follows it. Perhaps his most enduring piece of advice is also the simplest. Spend each day trying to be a little wiser than you were when you woke up. That is the true essence of Charlie Munger. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just relentless self-improvement, rational thinking, and the discipline to let compounding, in both money and knowledge, work over a lifetime. Munger's legacy is not just measured in billions of dollars or in the value of Berkshire Hathaway stock. His legacy is in the countless investors, thinkers, and everyday people who have applied his principles to live better, more thoughtful, and more prosperous lives. He teaches us that investing well is not just about picking stocks. It's about thinking well, living well, and having the courage to stick with what you know is right. If you remember nothing else from Charlie Munger, remember this. You don't have to be brilliant to succeed in investing, but you do have to be rational, disciplined, and patient. And if you can do that, you'll find, as Munger has, that wealth is not just about money, it's about building a life of lasting value.